So today I wanted to modify my domination ships a bit. Mainly this 2-deck cannon ship right here. And a few other ships, of course. The thing is, I recently have built this 4-deck cannon ship. And it actually was very effective. And something unusual that you don't normally see on deck cannon ships, is that it has those huge thrusters. I mean, you sometimes do see them on larger deck cannon ships, but the issue is that this gap right here is 3 tiles wide, and this gap is only 2 tiles wide, so it's easier to defend those large thrusters than those huge thrusters. And yeah, for that reason, it is normally preferred to just use large thrusters on those deck cannon ships. But I haven't really had big issues with defending them, so I just wanted to try and also use those huge thrusters on some smaller ships maybe. And something I'll immediately do is actually I'll move those one up and add some additional defense. Because otherwise you could just snipe the control room through the huge thruster. I think that even happened in one of my games. I'm not sure, but that's definitely, especially on such an expensive ship, you shouldn't try to save money by having flimsy defenses of your control rooms. So I'm definitely gonna save this ship. And yes, I'll just try to apply this here. So I have this is just the default setup. It's extremely standard. You use 6 large thrusters, and this ship goes about 60 meters per second. As you, oh no, it's actually a lot faster than I thought. It's 68 meters per second. Yeah, it doesn't fully sustain, but in a real match, it's basically never runs out of energy. Because in a real match, you are not constantly firing the thrust like this. So yeah, and if you look at the energy consumption of a huge thruster, it uses 0.4 energy per second. If you multiply that by 4, it's 1.6. And a small reactor gives 1.5 energy per second. This means that a small reactor in a real match will be able to supply the huge thrusters. I mean, in theory, it barely is not enough. Like by 0.1 energy per second, but in the real match it doesn't really matter. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll just be using huge thrusters, and I'll see what the difference in speed that you can achieve will be. Yeah, so definitely important to have more armor now. Because the gaps are much wider. But okay, if we look at it now, the ship has 85, so this is a speed increase of 17 meters per second. That's quite respectable actually. Okay, what is the cost increase? 185k, and the other version is 170k. 171, this is 186 basically. So this thing here is, it's definitely more expensive, but it's also a lot faster. So let's see how long this lasts if we're going at 1x speed. At 2x speed. Oh yeah, this is definitely gonna last a pretty long time. But they do prioritize the wrong thrusters, because crew is dumb. But I think in a real match it should be fine. I think in a real match the reload is gonna be fast enough to prevent stuff like that. But I'm obviously going to have to test this. I will add a bit more defenses. Because one layer on this thruster right here is pretty thin. And I don't have a fire extinguisher. Those fit nicely there. Alright. Am I missing anything? I think that's fine for now. I have so many deck cannon ships in here. Let's do some sorting. Right? So basically, the huge thrusters should allow this ship to catch up to kites more easily, and also to other cannon ships, for example. Like, this is a pretty common type of cannon ship. It goes about, yeah, almost 100 meters per second, and it's gonna be easier to catch up to those kinds of ships, because those kinds of ships are really they are just hard countered by those two deck cannon ships, and you can get very good trades if you manage to encounter those kinds of ships with your deck cannon ship. Okay, so what else do I want to do? I also wanted to try some weird waste ship using huge thrusters. How much energy? Yeah, a large thruster requires exactly half the amount of energy per second as a huge thruster. So theoretically, if I just replace those thrusters with their huge thrust equivalent, it should last the exact same amount of time. Maybe like this. Interesting. Okay. I'm not really sure how to armor the back here. I guess this will just have to do for now. And I'm never gonna fix it. Okay, and the structure connection, so that the armor doesn't fall off as easily. Okay, this waste costs 108. How fast is it? It goes 90 meters per second. How fast is the other version? A4, so that's a pretty decent improvement. And it costs 6k more, which isn't that good, but it's not too bad either. I gave this one additional backwards thrust to make it more maneuverable, because those huge thrusters probably struggle with maneuverability a bit. Okay. I will just make a folder, a temporary folder where I save everything. HT. Okay. And this ship shall also be saved. Let's save this first. All right. Okay. What about this ship? This kind of ship is very lightly armored, so it does have the command points, so what if I just leave it like this? This is kind of interesting. It's definitely a lot faster. It's over 17 meters per second faster than before. It will definitely struggle with power though. So I'm just gonna have to see how it does in actual battle. Okay, let's try the less extreme version with only the additional HT. I'm gonna need some doors on that. This should still be faster than the original, like over 100. 107. That's pretty good. How fast is the turning? That is pretty decent. And it's gonna be even better once huge thrust ramp down gets removed. Which is not removed at the time of recording this. So how much did the original cost? The original was 104.6 and this 107.8, so it barely costs more and it's faster. Like all of those ships are gonna be faster and they are gonna cost a bit more, but their ramp up is gonna be worse. So you might think that the maneuverability is gonna suffer a bit, but I don't know. Maybe it's just better to run huge thrusters and don't use large thrusters at all, because they definitely are the more efficient thrust. If we save it, let's just use it too. Oh yeah, I also definitely wanted to update my orbiter, my missile orbiter, because yeah, this thing has some issues. Like the missile sustain, the missile sustain is alright, but for the decent missile sustain, I'm sacrificing some thruster sustain, and the thrusters, it's just not really fast enough to avoid nuke ships. So I have been struggling a little bit with this kind of ship. So maybe if I use the huge thrust strategy, I could improve it a little bit. Okay, so yeah, if I just put the thrust like this, that should be alright. Okay, now the issue is I don't have enough command points. I really do not want to add a second cockpit though. Maybe I have to add one. I'm not sure. What do I want to do? I guess the other version was already maxed out on command points. Yeah. All of the 50 command points from the control room were used up. Alright. So I could just build a completely new ship. Or I could try to make this work somehow. Maybe if I use large thrusters. Yeah, the standard thrust will barely do anything. So it's not really worth it. I could just try this for the time being. And maybe that's fine. So I'll just move this to the side. Alright. So I need to adjust the crew assignments. And yeah. So just so we can see the speed difference again. This is 50 meters per second, and this is almost 60. So this still is a pretty big improvement. So that's that's probably worthwhile with HT. So what I thought is maybe I'll try to make a second version of this Morbiter, but I'll make it bigger and better. The issue is scaling this thing up. I will probably need a bigger reactor. I will definitely need more control rooms. So yeah, I'm not really sure. Should I go for a medium reactor? Should I go for 2 small reactors? Or should I just go for pure storages? I can just try all of the above and see what works, I guess. Okay, so I will just quickly take, yeah, the missile module from one of my ships. Oh yeah, that's a bit of an issue because there is those are directly next to each other. I guess I will just move them one further out. Elim players are gonna hate me for this, but I think the extra redundancy is kind of required for a domination ship. This will make the supply line worse, but it will make the defense stronger. Alright. Okay, so how much do those factories really take? Maybe I don't need a larger reactor. I mean, those factories don't use that much. They use 0.84 per second. I mean, I'll just try with a small reactor, cause why not? Okay. Large engines, larger engines. This reactor is gonna absolutely die. A horrible death. But I don't care. Okay. The 2 control rooms. Maybe I can place the crew a bit more efficiently. Not really sure how, but that's something I can fix later. So I'm gonna say I'll fix it later, and then I'm not gonna fix it. Oh, rip. A mistake in my armor weaving. Okay. Like this is the rough outline. And now I will assign some crew. Okay, this doesn't actually cost that much more. Why are the crew not going to the control rooms? I think I might have done some some weird shenanigans on this ship. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now they are operating the control room. I feel like I could make this more compact. There's a lot of empty space here, but the issue is really the center. I can't move the center up, so I could only move like the sides down, but that would make the missile supply worse. So I'll just leave it like this for now. Okay, how fast is this right now? I think this still doesn't really have enough armor, but it's pretty fast. It goes 80 meters per second. And its thrust doesn't get supplied. What have I done with the priorities of my red shirts on this ship? That's interesting. I will just import my other crew roles. Right, that fixes it. Okay. Oh, and the reactor is very redlined. Yeah. But that is pretty good speed. And for more missile orbiter like this, the ramp up isn't as bad because you want to be moving a lot of the time anyways. So yeah. Oh yeah. I still haven't fixed those door positions. They should be up. There should also be doors up here for faster supply of the thrusters. Okay, so this Morbita costs 233k. And this one costs 267k. That's not too bad of an increase. Like, in my mind it was worse. This probably needs more crew though. I will just add some supply crew. That does all of the missile stuff. Okay. Let's see how well this ship sustains. I'm pretty scared. Oh yeah, they are not operating those missile launchers. Okay, I need to give the thrust and the missiles the same priority. So the thrust has priority 6 and the factory should also have priority 6. Okay, now the factories are also getting supplied, which is good. Why are they not supplying the factories? They are like only supplying the factory like once in a while. Maybe I should just make those operators. Oh yeah, I really do need more crew. Like, but I'm not sure about adding more crew because this might just overstrain the reactor and everything, and doesn't add anything anyways. Oh, the factories wasn't connected to the launcher, so that might have been an issue. The reactor immediately redlines once I start the thrust. Okay, but this the missiles fire once in a while. I think this is alright. Like, the factories can sometimes recharge. When the Morbid is docking for some time. I will just try this ship out and see how it performs. Okay, now it's also gotten pretty expensive, but it has 2 launchers more, so that's a lot more firepower. And it has a lot more speed. I don't know. Okay. 2. What other ship could we modify? The EMP ship. The EMP ship really does like to travel continuously. So maybe that would also be a good fit. It's funny how I'm trying to accelerate the speed matter in domination. Like in elimination, the speed matter has already completely taken over. But in domination, it's like not that bad. But maybe we can make it worse if we try really hard. Okay, and I think I need to give one of those this crew roll. So that like one side operates the control room and the other side like supplies it with batteries. Like I have it set up, yeah, this side, and the other side should supply it, theoretically. No, that was this side too. Oh, because both of them have the same role. Okay, now, yeah, now this side supplies the control room, but the other side operates it. Yeah. Okay. So this ship now definitely is more expensive than the original. But how fast is it? 100. So now it's it's even able to outrun like cannon ships. Like it has the same speed as cannon ships. So if you start running early enough, they are not going to be able to catch up. So let's save this. For comparison, the old EMP costs 10k less, which is pretty hefty. But the speed is also only 85. So 15 meters per second less, which is extremely significant. So I'm thinking about what else I can upgrade. Maybe this thing right here. I definitely need to change some stuff on this ship anyways, because the armor distribution is really weird. I don't know. But it's hard to find like straight up improvements on this ship. For all that don't know, this is like a missile barge. Basically, the idea is you fly in to some enemy point, you launch all of your missiles. It has pretty limited ammo, but fairly good reload, so it's gonna deal a lot of damage. But it's gonna run out of ammo quickly, so you then teleport it back with the hyperdrive. You reload everything, and then you just repeat. And I think huge thrusters would do pretty well on this ship because the turning is horrible anyways. So why not just make the maneuverability even more horrible? That's the idea. And it's already pretty expensive, so I don't know if making it more expensive is that huge of a deal. So I will do this. That's the wrong block. Okay, but with this setup, I will definitely need some more crew. So yeah. I think I can add the crew on the side. I don't really want to add the crew here because that leaves only one layer of armor to defend against side attacks there. And I would really like 2 layers. So I might even remove this fire extinguisher here. I think I will just move this down. And I will also move the fire extinguisher down. And I will armor this up again. Yeah, like the thing why I add additional crew here and not on other ships is because I have 2 control rooms on this ship. And so this crew quarter only has 4 crew left to supply all of the thrusters. So I need additional crew to keep some better uptime. And also this ship is really slow. So this means the thrusters will have more time to run out of energy until it reaches the center. But maybe because I teleported back and it has some time to rest, it's not that bad. So yeah. I'm not exactly sure about that, but this goes... Oh wow, this goes now 69 meters per second, 70 meters per second. That's like the territory of a 2-deck cannon ship. That's really good. How fast was the original? Oh, the original only had 41.8. That's a speed increase of like 30 meters per second. That's actually insane. But this also put it over the 350k mark. So in domination, the starting money you have is 350k, like with the standard settings that most players use. So ideally, I would want to get it below that value so that I can spawn the ship right off the start. So I will try to do that right now. I think like missiles getting destroyed hasn't really been too much of an issue on this ship, so I might just remove some armor from there. That's wrong. Okay, that already gave me a decent amount of money. I will just keep all of those the same length. And... Okay. Delete this thing. Okay, and I'm already below. Yeah. Okay. I will remove also some internal armor. I don't think that's that needed. Like that was a lot of internal armor. On these kinds of barges, it's pretty nice to have internal armor because often enemies like shoot from the side, they get through, and then the cannons have a lot of spread, so they spread the damage across the internal armor and not across like actual parts. So that's why internal armor on these kinds of barges is quite useful, but you also shouldn't overdo it, of course. Okay. Yeah, this is under 350k now, and I am quite happy with this ship. The barrels on these are longer than on these, but I think that's fine because those are closer to the control rooms, which need more protection. I also now have a ton of armor here. But there isn't a lot of armor here. So I definitely want to add a bit more protection here. Just so the control room can't easily be sniped from this angle. Yeah, but this again increased the cost of the ship and now I want to get it down again. Okay, I think I can reduce some of the armor here. You don't need... The overhang isn't that useful probably. So now it's below 350k again. And yeah. I think those huge thrusters are a great addition for this ship. Like, I haven't combat tested it yet, but the speed increase is just huge. It's gonna be able to enter the battle and like unload all of its ammo so many more times during a match. This ship really thrives off of how much value it can gain. Okay, So I will save the ship. And I will see if there's any other ship I can modify. Oh, something that I remember. Oh no, not this missile barge. This missile barge should have auto ram. I load the ship to give it the auto ram default, then I discard it and I save the ship again, like in the hyperdrive section. And like this, the ship now has auto ram. Okay. Let's remove all of the junk ships. And let's try some huge thrusters on this ship. This ship probably needs more side armor anyways. Alright. We are using the same layout again. And I need to find some space for the additional crew again. And I don't really know where to put the crew. Oh, the ship also doesn't have a fire extinguisher, which is just great. Yeah, I think I'll just remove one of the armor triangles here. Like, that way cannons can kind of fire in here and potentially break this thing. I don't like that actually. I don't know, there aren't really a lot of great options. Okay, I'm just going to put the crew on top here, because once the thrust is ramped up, it doesn't really matter. And for the fire extinguisher, I will put it here, and I will put a block of armor here. That way there still is pretty decent protection on this side. Alright, let's see how the thrust sustains. Pretty well. Okay, wait, I didn't check how fast the ship is. 85. And the original is 71. Like, this is over 10 meters per second faster. Yeah. Yeah, replacing those 6 large thrusters with 2 huge thrusters is still extremely space efficient. It gives you a ton more thrust, and the cost is just slightly higher, and your ship will lose a bit of defense from the back, because the huge thrusters like give bigger gaps. I talked about that already in the beginning. Okay, 272. Yeah, this ship costs 20k more. That's quite a lot. Wait, no, MS stupid. 52. No, it's 20k more. Yeah, I guess with the thrust and the extra crew, yeah. But the advantage with this setup is you also utilize your reactor much better than with 6 large thrusters. Because with 6 large thrusters, that's 6 times 0.2, that's 1.2 power usage. So 6 large thrusters don't even fully utilize the small reactor. So they are less efficient, they utilize less of the energy, and they are less space efficient, like they take 1 tile more to the side than those huge thrusters. So there definitely are a ton of advantages to just using full huge thrusters instead of relying on large thrusters. I'm kind of surprised that not more people have really tried that. Um, like most of the good domination players don't really use huge thrusters, they only rely on large thrust. But we'll see. Maybe it's just better than large thrusters, and I think it might just be better, but um, we will have to see, of course. The ship, if anyone is interested, is just a nuke barge, um, which plans to go in, deliver a few volleys of nukes, and if it's still alive, it jumps out, refuels, repairs, kind of similar to the missile barge, but it's a bit faster, I think, because it's smaller, it has less armor. 85, yeah, it is faster, and the nukes are more destructive. So this thing is stronger against heavily armored targets like deck cannon ships and stuff like that. And the missile ship is I'll spawn it again. This thing um, is more effective against squishier targets because armor is pretty good at blocking those missiles, but against ships with shields, like those cannon ships, they like have no defenses basically, but they are faster, so they are harder to hit. And the missiles are just perfect against killing those kinds of targets. Whereas the nukes, of course, if you hit those ships, they die instantly with nukes, but it's pretty hard to hit those things with nukes. Like, the opponent has to make some kind of mistake. They have to focus on something different, and then maybe you're able to snipe one of those ships with some nukes. But even if your opponent gives this ship full attention and tries to dodge the missiles, the ship will still probably die. Okay. Oh, did I? I think I didn't save the. Oh no, I did save it. I was scared for a moment. I was confused because this ship has this new missile orbiter has a black color because it originated from my missile orbiter because I used the module. The missile orbiters also have a black color. Okay. So is there anything else? I think like these kinds of missile barges could also really benefit from some huge thrusters. Like this thing is already pretty expensive because it's extremely overcrewed. And it is kind of light on armor, so I feel like this would be perfect for some huge thrusters. Okay. I don't think there are enough command points to go with 4. No, definitely not. So there's also not enough for this. There's only enough command points for 2 huge thrusters, and I need to replace 4 large thrusters. I I just don't think that's worth it. I'll actually leave this ship as is, and I will instead try a huge thrust on a different variant. Oh no, this is missing 2 command points. That's kind of painful. But yeah. But I can still use this setup, which does still provide more thrust than the original setup. And it's much more space efficient. So let's do the usual setup, move the huge thrusters one down, and do the thing. Connect everything up. This ship only has 1 control room, so 6 crew should still be enough. And I don't have I don't have more huge thrusters. It should actually be easier for the crew to supply this than the previous thing, because those thrusters still require the same amount of power, but they are a lot closer to the power source. So this ship, this might even sustain fully. I'm not sure. I'll try it. Does this yeah, it does sustain pretty well. I think it might eventually run out. Yeah, but it only flickers a bit. So this is pretty great sustain actually for only 6 crew. And the speed is 86 again, which is pretty decent. I was maybe hoping for a bit more, but it's alright. Okay, so I will save this too. Alright, is there anything else that I want to refit? I don't really want to refit kites with huge thrusters because they really need the quick ramp up most of the time, and they already use huge thrusters pretty much. Like yeah, this ion kite. This ion kite already uses 1 huge thruster. It still has boost. The thing is that boost got nerfed quite significantly, and it's not clear whether it's still worth it on this kind of kite, but I think it is. Oh, this sound is quite irritating. Okay, whatever. So, and I wouldn't even know what to replace with huge thrusters, because there's so little thrust on the ship that replacing it with huge thrust would just be overkill pretty much. And you really want the quick ramp up, because you often need to quickly turn with kites to avoid some incoming interceptors. So it's probably not a good idea to use huge thrusters on those. Nuke. I could use some huge thrusters on those nuke barges, because why not? How fast are those anyways? I feel like the main issue with those armored nuke sticks is that they are slower than the regular nuke sticks. If I literally... On this ship, it's really easy to replace the thrusters. I literally just do this. And that's it. Yeah, I will definitely want to move those thrusters further out though, to gain some additional torque. So I think I'll just do this. Yeah. The armor distribution on this ship is kind of weird in general. Oh yeah, that's... Tony is going to hate on me for this. But 85 speed, which is faster than previously. Which is pretty neat. What I also want to do is do the storage trick. So yeah, that way the crew stays occupied. And they will have they will transport energy to the capacitor when one of them runs out, because normally crew is dumb and it only supplies the control room from one of the two capacitors, so normally one of the two will run out earlier. But with the screw trick I can like make it so that when one runs out, they will continuously run between the two capacitors, and they will refill one of the huge thrusters when they require energy. So that's a pretty useful trick. Okay. Alright. Is it useful to put a huge thruster on a nuke stick? I just put a huge thruster on everything. Is this thing even balanced? No, it isn't. Ah, yes, that's much more balanced. Well, much more is maybe an overstatement. 113, how much was the original stick? 140. This was actually faster. I guess this is really badly balanced. Oh, whoops. Okay, 116. Yeah, this is only a bit faster. The issue is the huge thruster just makes it hard to balance this ship really. So I guess the huge thruster isn't worth it on this nuke stick specifically. You could probably make a nuke stick where it really is worth it. My UL nuke orbiter. That's just a perfect chips. A perfect chip. No need to do any improvements on it. Orbiters. Yeah, my old Alpha missile ship. I feel like the hyperdrive missile ship, the other one, the bigger one, really is this ship, but it actually works. This is a smaller version of the missile ship. I don't think it's really good. I feel like Maybe I should try it. I don't think I've really tried this before. Huge thrust for the railgun orbiter? Not sure. And the walls pretty much do have huge thrust already. Yeah, looking at this ship. Okay. And the avoider, yeah. I have had a version where I replaced this layout here with one huge thruster, and it was a bit faster backwards, but the issue is the larger exclusion zone forces me to remove a lot of the structure here, and so that makes the ship more vulnerable to rams from there, and yeah, the increased uptime, and I just don't think it's worth it at all. Okay, but I think that's it. Oh, and a bot commented in my Twitch chat. That's lovely.